So Animal Flow is making me feel amazing. Honestly, it's making me feel about 10 years younger. And the crazy thing is, I've not even been doing it for that long amount of time, and I don't even do it that often. So I want to get into the video. What exactly is Animal Flow? How often am I doing it? And why I got into it in the first place. So I turned 35 in June. And whilst 35 isn't old in the grand scheme of things, it's not. I did come across some interesting research that shows that at the age of 35 is when your body ages the fastest amount. Okay, there's a bunch of research, bunch of studies on that. I'll link it in the description. And it is funny for me because that's when I started to notice some real signs of getting older. For the first time around September time, I actually struggled getting out of bed. I was changing my 1-year-old's nappy and I was noticing that it was difficult and awkward for me to get up off the floor. Now, a bit of background for those who don't know, I'm a tennis coach. I played tennis since I was the age of 9. I've got very stiff in my body, just years of playing tennis, beating my body up, not recovering well enough, not stretching and mobilizing enough, and bodybuilding type training after I retired and quit playing. And I got really stiff, especially in my hips. Always felt I got away with it. I tried to mobilize here and there, stretch and keep a good stretching routine. But like I said, I hit 35, and honestly, from then till September, I was just stiffening up. I found it harder to move on the court, more clicky joints, felt like my range of motion was more difficult. I just felt like, this is the first time I notice getting older, my body getting older. So I wanted to do something about this, and I was already stretching. I've already been training. I was training predominantly sort of bodyweight basics, right, at home, getting good results with strength and some muscular endurance, but I wanted more mobility. And I've done mobility sessions before where it's sort of isolating the joint specifically and stretching with weights, and I got some good results. However, they're very, very boring and they take up a lot of time. Essentially, especially if you're going to be doing a mobility session, is half an hour, 1 hour on its own, separate days. You need to separate them from your weight training because it's very taxing on the nervous system and so forth. So I wanted something short, sharp, quick, easy. And I'd done a bunch of locomotion stuff before, a little bit of Animal Flow, so I wanted to bring that back into my routine. So like I mentioned, I started again in September, and the results right from the get-go were fantastic. I just noticed it. I noticed I was opening up my ranges of motion again. It was like putting oil back into my joints after about a week. And I've been doing that currently mid-February now, so around 4 months. Honestly, I feel as good as I did almost 10 years ago again. I feel like I'm back in my 20s again, just from this routine. It's kind of amazing how it's made me feel. Like I mentioned, I don't actually do that much. I do around 4 to 5 exercises at the beginning of my strength sessions. And I do each exercise for 45 seconds. As you see here, some of the exercises, I vary them. I go through 2 to 3 week protocol with each exercise, with each routine, and then I change the routines with the exercises. But I keep the same amount of times, 45 seconds on each one. I just try to minimize the rest as I get better, as I get stronger, more mobile, and a bit fitter with it. And I do that twice a week, on a Tuesday and a Thursday. That's it. That's all I do all together. This whole thing takes me about 10 minutes at the beginning of my sessions, and then I jump in and do my bodyweight strength training, which takes another 20-30 minutes itself. So it's a minimalist Animal Flow workout, but it's getting really, really good results, which honestly has been a bit of a surprise. I thought, if anything, I'd see mild improvements in mobility and how I felt, but with that little that I was doing. But this whole minimalist thing has really surprised me with my strength, with my training, how I feel, and how I'm moving again. So I would highly recommend you do something like this. If you want that minimalist approach, just stick to that. Take about 8 to 10 of these exercises and split them over 2 days. So you do 4 to 5 exercises one day, and then you do 4 to 5 exercises on another day. I hope this has inspired you. If you're feeling a bit stiff, you're getting a little bit into the older age, or you're just a bit stiff and beat up in general, because give this a try, guys. This is a really effective thing. This animal flow, locomotion, florio art, whatever you want to call it, it is amazing. Try it out for yourself. You'll feel great. You don't need to do that much. You don't need to set aside a whole training session for this to get great results. I'm proof of that. So I hope that can inspire you. If you enjoyed this video and it helps, I'd really appreciate it if you give me a like, a subscribe, and I really think you've liked this video just here.